Are we ready? Somehow?
Oh boy. As ready as we can be. Um, I think I use this opening every year, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. Seems like only yesterday we started this. 8 categories back in August. Was wide-eyed. Walked into the soundstage for the first time. Sat down at my non-existent piano because it wasn't ready yet, and learned what I would be doing for the event. And in the midst of learning what I was doing for the event, we would have our first official set of the top 8. And the way that the ceremony went this year, we were able to have one last one tonight, where normally we finish off in December. But luckily, because of everything, we worked it out so we could finish in January. Right after SAG was announced nomination-wise, just like nature intended. Or just like AJ wanted. Which is fine.
We're still pre-BAFTA though, but that's a tradition as well. So.
Well, that's a couple days from now, so we'll get there. But yeah, we've tried to predict the top 8, and we've been very successful throughout the years, calling some movies, some performances that wasn't even on anyone's radar. Ashley, especially. Me and AJ have had our moments in the sun as well. And at the end of the day, all led to predicting every category. Now, I still believe Popcast Network killed that MTV Movie Award category that we did an entire video on, and then it just disappeared. Goodbye.
Yeah, I doubt that, but I like that you go with that.
We did for the narrative. And because of that, we're down to the good old MJ. The most evil number in the world. 23. And how appropriate that tonight, almost to the day, we're not on the 23rd, which would be great if we could have done it that way. I didn't think about doing it that way, but it wouldn't have worked because that was the day before the Oscars, so that definitely wouldn't have worked. But it's 2023. Lots of 23s around this.
Oh, shit.
Let's try to predict the 2023 Academy Awards for every category. Hi, friends! Sporting my brand new Blackpool Combat Club shirt that I just got from the Shop AEW. I get quad monthly, I guess you would say, 4 times a year. I guess you would say. My name is Owen. I still have the Model T Death Cough from Hell. I still have the witch to the side. And I wish I was kidding. But we're here. And we're here to make a statement. See, I also have a dream. I have a dream that tonight we are going to make more history by predicting some wild cards that no one's expecting. And come Oscar nomination morning, a week from tomorrow, those dreams will become a reality. So tonight, we're going to have some fun. My name is Owen. I'm your host for this evening. Joining me as always, we have Ashley.
Indeed.
And last but certainly not least, we have AJ.
Yeah.
We've got our live chat. Brian will not be doing his final predictions tonight because he's doing his own video. We're not going to get into it tonight, but yes, rejoice, Phineas and Verb's coming back. I blame Miley Cyrus because she did basically like this. What did I do on my summer vacation song? So if you're going to talk about summer vacation, I mean, you got to talk about Dan Povenmire and Phineas and Ferb, like nature intended. Brian took time from building his Lego truck to join us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 23. Thought my shirt being covered in blood makes sense. I see AJ is sporting a mask that hopefully I will be wearing later this year.
Yeah.
And due to the way that the filming is being done, I can't see anything Ashley's wearing. I just know she's wearing a shirt.
Yeah. No, I'm saving up the special patterns for special moments.
Hi, Tim. Welcome. So let's go. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Still going to be as interactive as we always are. But some of the stuff we have some reasoning for. I know AJ did a lot more research this year than previous. He mentioned to me personally, I wanted to make sure I stayed informed.
Yeah, and I was much better at that last year. I've been in a burnout period now for like a month and a half.
Well, you've been doing videos.
And
You've
that's
been doing videos since August.
That's like carrying over. So I'm not as informed as I would like to be. Because like I said, there is easy access to almost all of the short list for a documentary short.
Mm-hmm.
But I only managed to watch like 2.5 of them. So I had to just do what we usually do and just guess.
So the question...
Sometimes these are so random, though. I don't even know how useful seeing them is. Sometimes it is, but it also can just be totally random.
Speaking of random, usually we utilize our friends at Wiki, but you also like to bounce around a little bit, I've noticed throughout the years. What are we going to start with?
I have us starting at sound.
Okay, let me go find it. Sound has 10 on the short list. And let's see what the 5 that we're picking tonight are.
All right, and I'll probably say this at least 3 times throughout the night. Just the usual preface. Sometimes Oscar nominations can be totally random.
Yes.
There's always something that makes us go, whoa, I can't believe that happened. Oh, I can't believe that got in. Oh, I can't believe that miss. Could be in small categories, could be in huge categories.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just try to keep that in mind. So, like I said, I'll keep reiterating that as we go. So, because you never know when people are tuning in and out.
Yep.
So, based on this sound short list, I have shows. It's the one at the very top, isn't it? Yep.
I got it right here.
I have chosen All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun. There's a lot of cases in the tech categories where I wanted to go Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to miss most techs, or it's going to dominate in techs. So we'll see what happens. I think I tried to mix it up a little bit, but that's really my biggest question mark.
Makes sense. Ashley, what do you got?
Ditto. I also have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun. Sound is obviously normally dedicated to a fair few of the sort of blockbusters, and the catchphrase that we always get from AJ every season, They do like a war film.
Yes.
So yeah, it's basically it's blockbusters plus war film.
Yeah.
And am I wrong in thinking that this was actually a significantly easier category when it was two separate ones?
I never knew which one was which, but I always seemed to do decent on them. Because it was
Yeah.
basically pick four, and then the fifth one was always different.
I was just trying to see.
Yeah, just
what
the way I eventually took it was that sound editing was more about like more associated when you think like Foley type stuff, and then mixing is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay up on chat as best I can, but it's gonna be difficult tonight because this is a bigger night. Kenneth Lee says, "All Quiet, Avatar, Elvis, Everything, Top Gun." I feel good about 4 of the 5. Everything is the only one I question. It helps that 2 blockbusters are Safe Picture nominees.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because the only thing I questioned on this list was the movie I hate. And it felt great to be able to say Batman instead of the movie I hate. So, yeah, we are 3 for 3, gentlemen, to start off this contest.
Right.
All Quiet on the Western Front, the Avatar, Batman, Elvis, Top Gun.
That's where you left me sort of in that intriguing point because it was like the movie you hate. Is it Avatar or is it Everything Everywhere All at Once? Because they're both hated by Owen.
Yes, but I know that Avatar is getting in sound.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's a question mark.
And even though we all snubbed it, I also when doing all of these after the PGA mention, I was trying not to underestimate Black Panther anywhere.
Maybe I made a mistake then.
But like I said though, the guilds faked us out a lot last year, so yeah.
I just noticed, if that is right, then the sound will match the live action sound mixing guild because they did exactly those 5 as well.
Oh. Okay, so what we're saying is it's too perfect now. We all have the same thing. The sound guild had it. So it's definitely wrong.
So we're all either gonna get 5 points or none of it, or we're gonna like mix and match the points.
Yeah.
Kenneth Lee mentioned sound editing is creation of sound, mixing is putting everything together. Thank you, Kenneth. I don't know these things.
So, and guess what?
Oh Lord, where are we going now? It's certainly not the order I've got.
In this category, you had to say, "Oh, I have to put a movie I hate in here."
Yes.
I get to do that for this one. There's a movie I despise I have predicted here, and that is visual effects.
Okay. Oh, I can't say that. But you can, apparently, because I see where you're going with this. Good Lord.
All right. Like I said, the movie I have in the middle, the third movie I'm going to say, I don't want to say it. I really don't, because it doesn't deserve fuck all anything. But just looking at the short list over and over and over again, it was like, and honestly, can we be real and say that if a really shitty movie is going to get an Oscar nomination, if it's not in Best Song, it's here, probably.
Yeah, visual effects is kind of a throwaway category for the most part. It is the definition of the Bourne Award.
Yeah, as I say, I've heard otherwise, but I do think it's a necessary category, unlike say song.
Hey, song gives 5 performances to be on that stage.
Are we ready for visual effects?
Yes.
I've got Avatar, Black Panther, Jurassic World, Nope, and Top Gun. It took me a second to get to Nope because for the longest time I was specifically thinking of Jean Jacket and nothing else. Then I remembered, and it's easy to forget because it's so well done, is that Gordy is Terry Notary doing motion capture.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like I said, to the point that I almost forgot to even think about Gordy when thinking about Nope's visual effects. So based on the combination of Gordy and Jean Jacket, I said Nope. I'm thinking much like Avatar, Black Panther, we're gonna have a very water-based category here. Because I know people immediately associate bad visual effects with Black Panther because of the climax of the first movie, but dumbasses, this is not the first movie. This is a different movie. So, yeah, and I figured it was going to be one of the Marvel movies. I kept wanting to say Doctor Strange.
I had Doctor Strange in here originally.
Yeah, because Doctor Strange always has really elaborate effects that go with it.
But at the same time, I would argue that out of partly showing my hand in a minute or so, but Black Panther had the better CGI than Doctor Strange. Some of the Doctor Strange CGI looked very sort of Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Widow, very sort of rushed and not as high quality as it probably should do. But then, if they're working on so much crunch, what are they supposed to do?
No, I will say, I'm not saying Black Panther's visual effects are perfect. I'm still not over that green screen Winston Duke was clearly standing in front of, but it's close. I feel like the water effects will be one.
Ashley, what do you got for visual effects?
Not ditto. I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Batman, Black Panther, and Top Gun. Top Gun just for practical visual effects, because you know, planes. And obviously Batman was predominantly practical.
Feels like it.
So they're sort of in there, and then obviously the CGI additions to, and remember, I'm pretty sure as well, not to again quote AJ, there's usually a war film in here. I think Hacksaw made it in, maybe. Certainly Dunkirk did.
You don't remember.
So, yeah. Really, all I need to say is Avatar and 4 others, because that's probably what's going to win, sadly. Although at the same time, that's the only thing that's good about the thing, so...
It wouldn't be undeserved, though.
Yeah, and it's not like they've had to rush it. They've had like 17 years, it feels. Although it's probably like 7 to be able to get it all right.
Yeah, that's confirmation. Kenneth Lee saying Hacksaw Ridge won sound mixing.
No, I meant on visual effects. Because I think Dunkirk was in for VFX. Probably because, you know, they crashed a real Spitfire. Just how in 12 months' time I'm going to say Oppenheimer, because they created a real nuclear bomb but wasn't nuclear.
Kenneth Lee brings up the fact that most of the movies that are listed on the short list are sequels. And Makeup and Hair have a lot of bad movies in there.
Oh,
Dunkirk was what he said. Okay. Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge won editing that year. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Kenneth says Skull Island got in instead of Dunkirk.
Which is what I fucking love the Skull Island. That was a really good lineup for visual effects that year, 2017.
So my visual effects lineup is different. But AJ is not going to die alone on the Jupiter claim hill. I'm very happy to say that. My best visual effects lineup, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar. Nope. The Batman and Top Gun Maverick. I toyed with Multiverse of Madness for a minute. Part of me wanted to put 13 Lives in here as my surprise.
I love that.
Don't think that's going to happen. I have seriously discounted Black Panther for obvious reasons, if you know me. And it's just, I'm not a fan of the series. We already had a conversation. I'm not getting raked over the coals tonight. I have a feeling I'm going to anyway because of the things I'm going to have to say tonight, because this is serious. This is not me like ripping on movies. This is me trying to be as professional as I can be.
Tomorrow is when you can sort of go a bit loose.
Considering what's going to win a lot of my awards. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not 37 hours, but it might as well be. Yeah, that's my visual effects lineup.
For animated feature?
Dang it, why are you making me do that? Your order sucks. Give me a minute, I gotta find it.
I'll copy.
I don't know where you.
Over.
Okay.
Copy them.
Yeah, that's
over
not
from my.
Not animated. Okay.
There we go.
In any way, shape, or form.
So the thing we're looking at with animated is we've got the 4 and then there's the 1 slot, right?
I'll take it all.
Here's the thing: is there's Inuo, I think it was called, the one that was at the Globes,
right?
I believe Minions made PGA and the BAFTA shortlist.
Yeah, Rise of Gru did PGA and BAFTA.
So I almost went with Minions, but I didn't. So I have Pinocchio, Marcella Shell with Shoes On, My Father's Dragon, Puss in Boots, and Turning Red.
Okay.
No real elaboration there.
No need. Ashley, what's your 5th?
Well, it's. I would sort of leave it tentatively sort of building, but the problem is it's first alphabetically. So I have Bad Guys, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, because that's what it should be called. And I think technically it has to be, just so there isn't any sort of confusion with the Disney one.
I think that is the official title, isn't it?
Yeah. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, and Turning Red.
Okay.
Because I think, although it isn't technically G Kids, Marcel is the independent one.
Yeah, I could see a world where Marcel misses because it's such a unique choice. But since they've already gone through the process of making sure that it's eligible, I'm assuming that it's safe.
Yeah.
Kenneth says Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, Marcel, Turning Red, My Father's Dragon. Ashley, sometimes we have kinship. And again, we do, because I went on that limb that the best animated feature that I personally saw theatrically this year, because I'm not going to watch things that are streaming, because I want to sit in a movie theater and actually watch a movie. What a foreign concept. Basically tells me that I'll never see Turning Red, and I could watch Puss in Boots. Apparently, it's like a juggernaut that just made another $100 million like now. And another one, and there's another one, and there's another one. Yeah, that makes about right. Yeah, Pinocchio, obviously. Marcel, which I really enjoyed. And yes, I'm very happy to say my 5th slot's going to the Bad Guys. I will die on this hill and probably lose that point, but darn it, I'm going to fight for this movie. It's so good, and if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Oh God.
Oh Lord. I don't know
Let's
what direction you're going, so
international.
okay, I gotta find it.
This is one of those cases where there's a lot of obvious ones, but something's got to get snubbed, or multiple things have to get snubbed.
Yep.
I have a lot of things getting snubbed in this category.
But you kind of have to because that list is kind of long.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of power players too, so it's like big ones are gonna miss. It's inevitable.
Certainly.
There's also always one that seems kind of random that wasn't really a big player throughout that just randomly gets inserted in here, so I took that in mind as well.
All right.
And the randomness of this category, which is exactly what we're going to be saying about the next one too. For international, I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Close, Decision to Leave, Joyland, and Return to Seoul. That's a lot of fucking snubs for a lot of big movies, but this category is weird.
Okay. Ashley, what do you got for international feature film?
Because they'll always do it in the order of the country. I have gone with Argentina 1985, Corsage, Close, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Decision to Leave. Which I don't feel happy about because, I mean, originally I was going to put in Saint Omer
I thought about it.
as the fifth instead of Decision to Leave, but then I thought that is a very European list, which doesn't usually happen. It's usually 3 different continents, and yeah, there is always, you know. But then the key thing for me is like the good old Yak from last year in his classroom stood out because they allowed it in the following year just because it was their first entry. They didn't actually have an academy to officially pick it. But considering I think there just is a little bit behind Argentina 1985 to get in. I guess the advantage with Corsage, although it's listed as Austrian, is I think it is technically 7 different countries. It's just Austria's quote unquote the main one. So yeah, I'm not happy with that many European ones. I could see at least one missing for the, one of the random ones. I hope India didn't make it in because people just saw India and immediately thought it was RRR. I hope we're not that stupid. Then again, this is the Academy, so.
Let's see. Ryan's doing his predictions, going through last year's nominations. I don't understand Donna. At least we know AJ and Ashley buy movies. Porter Central there, but we always have views, even if Owen doesn't tune in. Okay. Brian says on the nominations, if they don't go by the country, they go by the film. You keep mistaking it everywhere. Same thing with song. They go by title of song, not film. Parsnip Burger says Argentina 85 is from Argentina. Yeah. Okay. All right. The weird thing about international feature film is sometimes maybe it is really that easy. I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to put my Mercedes Monet on that. So the juggernaut that is All Quiet on the Western Front. Argentina 1985. Birdo. Close and Decision to Leave. Lots of ideas I had before I went with this 5. Corsage, which that and St. Omer I actually have access to right now, weirdly enough. Holy Spider was an option. Just for the joke, I almost went with EO. There was even a point that Cairo Conspiracy was something that, just because of the title, it just kind of jumped out at me as a weird, hey, let's put this in here. But I stuck with the five that seems to be obvious for the most part. So sometimes, most of the times, they don't ever go obvious. But what if they do this year? I'm gonna bank on that.
Yeah, we also don't want to like overestimate the randomness of the Academy as well. Sometimes categories are just exactly what they look like, but there's
Oh, go ahead.
that thought.
Have a confirmation. Donna says if you don't go to the cinema, those two will have your back. They have the movies. Yeah, but it's Oscar season, and I'm not missing the Best Picture lineup because somebody is too stupid to put a movie in a theater. When Glass Onion runs for Best Picture, which I'm going to reveal my hand on that. I don't care. I have a theatrical viewing of that movie. There's not many people that can say that because it was only out for a week. So there you go. So yeah,
I like had EO in.
I did too.
And then I forgot. I just realized I'd forgotten the decision to leave, and I wasn't going to do that, so I had to take it out.
That's kind of funny
because I don't know why I'm gravitating towards Joyland for the like sort of not as prominent in the race otherwise one, but yeah. I would have never banked on Yak in the Classroom last year, so I don't want to miss that.
Brian says underestimated the quiet girl here. Be aware how BAFTA is on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right? Pay attention to short lists, like BAFTA short list or PGA short list, or I probably should have, but the fun thing about these categories and trying to predict them is sometimes you just throw, I like this name, or pull a Jake Hager. I like this hat. So needless to say, you knew I was going to go there, Ashley, because you knew what I was
Well, the problem is I was trying to work whether you were gonna go Bardo or EO or both, just because of the name.
There's the joke for both, but the Inaritu connection and the fact that back when we started this, I had Bardo as a top contender. And you know what? You might as well just go with what brought you to the dance in the first place. And Brian mentioned that Joyland got banned in Pakistan.
I think that's the irony is that might actually be showing in cinemas like around the same time as the BAFTAs, as like a special preview thing, like Corsage, because they're actually showing world cinema at like cinemas around the UK and not just on Mubi or the BFI play.
So AJ, since we're bouncing around again, what's the next category?
The category that probably most of all loves a randomness and snubs. That would be documentary feature.
Okay, we're going there. Give me a minute. I gotta find it. Okay. Yeah. Let's get camping.
All right. Good fucking luck, everybody.
Thank you, Hardcore Ben Stein.
Yeah. Feature. I have all the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splendors, Last Flight Home, and The Territory.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out which all I was going to go for between All the Beauty and the Bloodshed and All That Breathes.
Okay.
Settled on All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Fire of Love seems like one that's really at the front. The Territory has Aronofsky attached to it. But yeah, I didn't really base much of this on anything because I feel like that's the way the Academy plays this category too. So, like I said, good luck.
Ashley, what do you got? Documentary feature.
On the word all, why not both? I have All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Descendant, Navalny, and The Territory. Navalny I have seen because for some reason they put it on British television like a week after it came out in cinemas.
That's funny because without knowing what it was, I thought it was Naval New York.
No, it's about the Russian opposition politician that Putin doesn't like, and literally sort of took in and charged with like war crimes and is trying to sort of get the death penalty put on, even though that doesn't technically exist in Russia anymore. I can't think why.
I almost put Descendant instead of Last Flight Home, but then I just started to think of Descendant as one of those things that would hit guilds and then still somehow miss. Yeah.
I think Moon Age Daydream is going to miss because they like to spread it around in terms of like production companies. And the fact that in my list you have a Nat Geo and a Neon and an HBO Max already, the fact that most of the other ones that are sort of could be contenders either have both or a combination of the three, some one, some two. I felt something Netflix had to go in there, which is why Descendant came in.
Yeah. Unless I'm forgetting a major example, I immediately ruled out Moon Age Daydream and the Leonard Cohen one because I feel like they just don't go for musical ones lately.
That happened last year. Summer of Soul, but that's because it did everything.
I mean, one that's like a specific person or specific group.
Yeah. Sure. Probably the last time was Amy, maybe, and that was 6 years ago. But yeah, the only two I feel really confident on is Navalny and All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Because if Beauty and the Bloodshed has been actually taking like best pictures from film critics ahead of like Fabelmans and Everything Everywhere, there's got to be something in it to at least warrant it in documentary.
And it's topical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I imagine a lot of them are topical, but
all right. Parsnip Burger asked if we've seen Close.
I haven't yet.
I don't even know if it's come out here to the film distributors.
Parsnip Burger also asking about us having a Discord where we can have the fans post the predictions.
It exists if Owen wants to work out how to do it and everything. We might try and do that over the next few weeks and then have it there ready in time for probably the next bit of the award season from like mid-February.
Sure. Brian mentions with all the Beauty and the Bloodshed being directed by a previous winner, might not happen because Morgan Neville with Won't You Be My Neighbor, the director is a free solo, missing The Rescue, since Laura Poitras made Citizen 4 might get snubbed, and Parsnip Burger asked if Laura Poitras ever won an Oscar. Bringing the tough questions tonight, Parsnip Burger. Welcome back.
I've just checked. Close doesn't come out here till March the 3rd, and it'll be on Mubi, so I probably won't be able to see it.
Fantastic. Documentary feature film. I've seen one of these. It is quite a trip, to say the least. I don't know what it feels like to be high, but I feel like in a theatrical sense, now I do. So I had lots of ideas on this one. I steered clear of those. Bad Axe was an option. Fire of Love was an option. And then what I went with ended up becoming an option. So I have Descendant. I have Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, A Journey, a Song. I have Navalny, Moon Age Daydream, and The Territory. Totally forgot about The Territory, Darren Aronofsky. So that's not always a guarantee that something's going to get nominated, but it doesn't hurt. You see live action short categories, see short categories in general.
I'm not sure how closely he's connected to it, but he has been the one promoting it. So obviously
he's connected to it because there was a story that came across my Twitter feed about that, like about him and being connected to it. So I'm like, okay, let's go with it. Brian
Yeah,
confirmed
he's
that
producing.
Laura won for Citizen 4.
Yeah, Aronofsky's producing territory.
Okay. Okay, we have documentary feature. Are we going to shoot into the shorts now?
Yes, we are.
Documentary short coming up next. I'll find it.
Okay, so the only strategy you can really use here is that Netflix usually does pretty well. I have, what, 2 Netflix ones here? Yes. And, okay, Netflix does well here, and basketball seems to do well in short categories.
Yeah.
So, take that for what you will.
Those are fun, too.
So I have The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, The Martha Mitchell Effect, Shut Up and Paint, and 38 at the Garden.
Say them again. Elephant Whispers, Haul Out, Shut Up and Paint.
The Martha Mitchell Effect, and 38 at the Garden.
Just so I can copy them over.
Dang, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of non-overlap in this category. Ashley, yours whenever you're ready.
You're partially correct. I said 38 at the Garden because I went by number, because I don't know whether it goes first or last alphabetically. Because if it's a T, I don't know.
That's the same thing I did, but I went with T for 30. So
okay,
I put it at the bottom.
So I'll post that there because I know that's the last, because it was the last alphabetically on the shortlist. However, my other 4 are Angola, Do You Hear Us? Voices from a Plantation Prison, As Far as They Can Run, Holding Moses, and Nuisance Bear. So everything else, I'm different.
I feel like I stayed away from the Paramount Plus one because I felt like they really got shafted last year. But
I don't care about distributors. I don't care about streaming services. I just looked at names, and honestly, Ashley, ours is we're 4 for 5 when it comes to matching. I also have 38 at the Garden, Nuisance Bear, Holding Moses, and As Far as They Can Run. Happiness is 4 million pounds came up to me immediately, but I was like, no. Tried to stay away from the long titles because sometimes they get in, sometimes they don't. Titles that seem too good to be true. Ones that I can imagine watching in that really awesome warm theater with the cool seats and the good food. Because this worm will watch this thing. But obviously, at the end of the day, got to go with my fandom. And at the end of the day, I also got to throw out the fact everyone knows I'm a rent head. How do you measure a year is my 5th one, of course. Not the same thing. I know that, and I don't care.
I didn't take into account something I probably should have.
Okay.
And that was there was about ones that you don't have access to, because like I said, everybody has unlimited access to most of these.
Right.
The thing about it is, of the 15 last year, I saw 14 off the short list. There was only 1 that didn't have like widespread access, and of course that one got in.
I remember watching that in the theater.
So all the ones I picked can be accessed, and I think the only ones I couldn't were, and I just lost the fucking short list. Here we are. I think As Far as They Can Run, the Flag Makers definitely. So I probably should have said the Flag Makers. I can't remember if How Do You Measure a Year was or not, but I have that other list somewhere, but I don't have it pulled up. So there. What I'm saying is I probably should have said the Flag Makers, but I'm sticking with what I have.
Well, it's the one thing I really love about AMC, Cinemark, Regal, because I can add Regal to that list now. because it gives me an excuse to get frozen Pepsi. Because that's the only place I can get it. I will say right now that I don't have a problem traveling for movies. I mean, there's literally a theater like right behind me, like literally right behind me. I mean, there's a theme park in the way first, but I mean, there's right behind me. And I have a theater that I'll go to that I can go to the really cool James Bond lounge where I also can get Pepsi. And they help me with the Best Picture marathons. AMC helps with the Best Picture marathons, and I'm sure Regal's going to help with the Best Picture marathons because not everybody's going to show the streaming movie, but some theaters will. That's why it took so long to see Coda last year. So here's the thing. One thing I love about it is we usually AMC gives us the shorts, but we don't get all three. They usually give us the animated or we get the live action, but the documentary short eludes me. Well, luckily, I found a theater way across town that I have to pay a little bit of money for to go over there. It's totally worth it because it has amazing seating. It's nice and warm. It's nothing but people like us watching the movie. So, yeah, I like things like that. It's fun. People having conversations about for best international film. People having conversations about the animated short they just watched. Oh, I watched this the other day, and this looks like this, and having conversations like that. The camaraderie that we have in the community is just amazing, and that theater really shines. So thank God they're going to show the shorts because no matter what gets nominated, I'm covered. So, and theatrically, so I'm happy about that. Are we going live action now?
Animated short. I'll just say them. I saw a few of them. I'm only going with one of the ones I saw. So I am saying The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, Ice Merchants, New Moon, and also Show Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It, and Steakhouse. New Moon is the Coleman Domingo one, yes?
Yes, I think so.
That one's got a lot of attention. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, I think, is probably the front runner, right?
It's what it seems to be.
Ice Merchants is the one that I saw. I almost went with Passenger.
Okay.
But then changed. I was trying to go with like, the most unique animation. And I feel like a lot of the time, sometimes like the one we just had last year or a couple years ago, I feel like the autobiographical ones don't always make it. I was very surprised to learn that I'm very curious how they're going to get around. Should it get in? I'm curious how they're going to get around saying My Year of Dicks, because when you watch the movie, that's exactly what the context is what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. It's a teenage girl. It's the diary of a teenage girl trying to lose her virginity. And it's the writer of like, the co-writer of like Moana and Ralph Breaks the Internet is the woman telling the story.
Hold on.
So I could see that happening, like based on her reputation, but it'll be interesting if they go with it, but I didn't go with it. See, I mainly just based it on the unique qualities and the diverse qualities of the animation itself. I also saw, oh my God, what's the fucking, The Garbage Man, the one's like around the dinner table. That one is really confusing as to what's even happening, which always makes it a possibility also. But those were the ones that kind of stood out to me when I looked into them.
Well, before we go to Ashley, don't forget what Del Toro said last night. Animation is not for kids. So no matter what the title of the film is, if they want to nominate it, they're going to. Ashley, what do you got for animated short?
Um, I have the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse. Oh wait, I've got to say four others. The Flying Sailor, My Year of Dicks, New Moon, and Save Ralph. Because if I want a documentary style of a vivisected rabbit been put together that's like the rabbit from bloody Whiplash, the game from 20 years ago that nobody played on the PS2 and GameCube and Xbox, I'm gonna have it here.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, Save Ralph is. I nearly cried watching Save Ralph, and it's only 4 minutes long.
Yep. As soon as I saw the description of what it was, I was like, yep.
The only, I mean, I don't know why this drove me away from it, but I think the only thing that drove me away from it was the fact that it's literally an ad. But I mean, it's a
Oh,
very
so like what could have got him for live action short with Taylor Swift? I see.
Okay. Brian says, the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse reminds me of the rifle, the jackal, the horse, and the wolf and the boy. Brian says, don't remind me of basketball. Doc Short was the only category I got wrong last year. I didn't. Parsnip Burger says, Gold Derby sends you down the wrong path with shorts. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just guessing. Gold Derby just guesses 9 times out of 10, Parsnip Burger. Don't believe the hype. Let's go into my list. Very similar to yours. There's a couple differences. My lineup is Black Slide, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, and My Year of Dicks. The Debutante was on here for me at one point. More than I want to remember, just based on the title alone. Steakhouse intrigued me. Didn't look into any of this. That's the fun part. And of course, the Fiona Apple, Tori Amos style title of An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It. Yeah, I thought about going that route too, but I didn't. So yeah, that's based on absolutely nothing. That's what we've got. Live action short.
All right. Once again, I managed to see 3 of the ones on the short list. Interestingly enough, I missed the one on Disney Plus, the one that's the most easy to access probably. But I only picked one of the ones that I saw again.
Okay.
So I said I have strategy on like the first 2 or 3, then the other 2 are just guesses. Just based, I watched their trailers, and that's basically the best I could do. So I said Almost Home, An Irish Goodbye, Night Ride, The Right Words, and Warsha. An Irish Goodbye made the BAFTA list, so I feel like that was easy to go with.
Okay.
Almost Home looks surprisingly high budget for a short. It's like set in space, or on a space station or whatever. Night Ride is the one that I saw here. The other 2 that I saw that I didn't go with were All in Favor. All in Favor sticks out because it's all in one shot, which is interesting. Where it's like kind of a 12 Angry Men scenario, but with bigotry.
Okay.
And The Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf is like a combination of talk radio and The Guilty. So it totally could be here. But for some reason, I was just drawn to these others, The Right Words and Warsha, after watching their trailers. The Right Words is a relatable story. It's like a kid on a bus, and he's trying to work up the courage to ask a girl out. I got to be totally honest with you, man. Like I said, I strive to be as informed as possible. I watched Warsha's trailer, and I honestly don't think I could describe it to you. It just went out of my head. All I remember is I feel good about this. I wish it was more informed and I had more of a strategy to go on, but I don't.
Ashley, what's your live action lineup for shorts?
it's good because it's like, okay, let's go for the longest title. Oh wait, they're all short. So I went with An Irish Goodbye, partially because of the BAFTA stuff, because they do. So there's at least one that carries over. And I went with Ivalu, Nakam, The Red Suitcase, and Warsha. So
Yeah,
pretty
any
much-
elaboration?
The only really one was The Irish Goodbye. I've been hearing a lot of good things about that from the BAFTA sort of things that I follow and everything. So it probably could take the BAFTA for it. Not predicting what they're going to announce, in the next couple of days.
Sure.
But yet alone winning it. But that's the only one I feel confident on. I went with the other ones because it's always trying to get some of the internet. This is where like the international feature sort of spreads, because they do like to have different sort of ethnicities and cultures reflected in the live action short. So I try to use that a bit more.
All right. Live action short. I've got Almost Home, An Irish Goodbye, Le Pupille, The Red Suitcase, and The Right Words. Thought about Night Ride, thought about Plastic Killer, thought about Citadel, thought about The Treatment. Didn't think of anything else.
I consider Plastic Killer, but then when I read what it was about, I was just thinking this could either be really profound, or people are gonna have a really hard time taking this one seriously. Did I read correctly? It's like a woman falls in love with a plastic bag or something.
Yeah, something like that.
She's
Yeah.
fucking Ricky Fitz or something.
It's one of those films.
One of those films.
All right, we are back to movies.
Okay, where are we now?
Not to talk down to the shorts or anything. Just it's
These are longer than 30 minutes.
yes. I believe next we're gonna do makeup.
Okay.
Makeup
I got
and
that.
the hair.
I'm certainly confident in 3 of these, as I'm sure most are. It's just a matter of what those other 2 are, and if they're going to go adventurous or not. I feel like lately they haven't really gone as adventurous as they used to, but I went a little adventurous,
Oh.
so we'll see what happens. And I went with one that's kind of a generic choice here that I'm not even that confident in, but whatever. That one's Babylon. And on top of Babylon, I have the Batman, Crimes of the Future, Elvis, and the Whale. I feel like Crimes of the Future could be the adventurous one if they decide to go that route, especially with Cronenberg doing body horror again.
I hope don't acknowledge the existence of that movie. It's bad enough I had to watch it.
And yeah, so Babylon's the only one. Like, I feel like Babylon just kind of conquers the hair category more than anything else. So that's why that was my fifth choice. So
Also, there's a lot more people to do makeup and hair on.
Yeah. Ashley, what do you got for makeup and hair?
Pretty much the same. I have Babylon, Batman, Blonde, Elvis and the Whale.
I forgot to say something. Something I almost went with instead of Babylon was, even though the movie sucks, Amsterdam has done very well precursor-wise for this category for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost wanted to say it instead of Babylon, but I didn't. So, like I said, and it's not. Like I said, I put Jurassic World in visual effects. Your movie's sucking, and Ashley going with Blonde. Your movie's sucking.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter in a tech category.
That's why it's there. There's always one film in makeup and hair that sucks. Depending on some people's opinion, that might be Babylon, but for me, it's Blonde.
Yeah, the thing that held me back was I don't know why Amsterdam has shown up so many times in makeup precursors or hair, even hair. Really, it's not really that standout.
Well, funny thing is, strange thing about a short list is you got to put into perspective what all could go here. And it's funny you mentioned Amsterdam because I did my research on it. And although the movie was not liked, it is my list. It's on there. I at least tolerated or loved everything on this list. I'm very happy to say that. Oh, thanks AJ for getting me to remind me how bad Crimes of the Future was.
I'm guessing everything you saw in the cinema, because I'm guessing you missed Emancipation, because that probably would have been limited, or
It never came close by.
yeah.
But to be fair, I've seen most everything on this list theatrically.
Mm-hmm.
Burger, get on that and get me a theatrical run of your movie before it blows up. My makeup and hair lineup is Amsterdam, Babylon, The Batman, Elvis, and The Whale.
All right. Ooh, you ready for have some fun?
Maybe. Where are we going? Costumes?
It's that fucking useless song category.
Oh
dang it.
no.
And the reason I say are you ready to have fun is because I have fucking snubs galore.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna say this outright before I even say my list. I have Taylor Swift, Rihanna, and LCD Sound System all getting snubbed.
Oh.
Oh, that makes me happy. You don't realize how much that makes me happy.
Yeah, this song I feel like could start a shitstorm. So, with that in mind,
I think we might be very likely the same, almost the same.
that's
Maybe.
very possible. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
I will say I researched one of these and I was relieved, so I feel better about saying it now.
Go ahead.
I have Ciao Papa from Pinocchio, Natu Natu from RRR, Good Afternoon from Spirited, Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, and Hold My Hand from Top Gun. First things first. One of the people indirectly campaigning for Ryan Reynolds was when Hugh Jackman said, "Hey Academy, ha, please don't vote for Ryan Reynolds. Don't give him an Oscar nomination." That made me worry that Ryan Reynolds was a credited writer on the song. He's not. So
Just pay second Paul, don't worry.
So that was literally just Hugh Jackman was literally just promoting Spirited. So that's all that was.
Why am I not surprised? He's doing more promotion for that than The Sun. Because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
And obviously I went with Applause because of Diane Warren.
Diane motherfucking Warren!
Not making that mistake again. Your movie could be so far off the radar, like the Mila Kunis Rehab movie, and you can still get in for a Diane Warren song no matter what. Breakthrough, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
I love the fact that she could get an honorary Oscar, because she has already, and get a real Oscar the same year. Possibly.
That would be kind of amazing, actually. because there's what is the front runner Natu Natu, I guess.
I would say so.
I mean, it shouldn't be, but I don't see anything. The only thing that could have taken it down a couple pegs was Gaga, and that's not happening so far. So, yeah, I'd say so.
Also, the other key thing is, I think Natu Natu is the only one that is like in the movie and not an end credit one.
Good Afternoon is in the middle of the movie.
Oh, okay.
And Chow Papa's in the middle of the movie. Even though, like I said, even though my son is the one they should have gone for, but whatever. Uh, so yeah,
Ha!
that's how I ended up snubbing Taylor Swift, Rihanna, and LCD Sound System. Even though an LCD Sound System performance on the Oscar stage is something I would live for.
Great.
Yeah, that's what I have happening, but could be wrong. Probably am. We'll see what happens.
What do you got, Ashley?
I have Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Ciao Papa from Pinocchio, Natu Natu from Arr, Applause from Diane motherfucking Warren. Sorry, Tell It Like a Woman. And Hold My Hand from Top Gun. All this campaigning she's been doing for months, and Taylor Swift not only gets snubbed out of live action short, she doesn't even make song because I don't want Oscar nominated Where the Crawdads Sing. Dear God.
Well, I'm indifferent to it as well, but to give Taylor Swift an Oscar nomination, I would have zero problems with. Snubbing Rihanna makes me so happy. You have no idea how much that makes me happy. I know I'm probably going to be proven wrong. I don't care. I'm just not going to go with it because I've never been a fan of hers, and I never will be. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pretty much be 4 for 5 because there's an up that's on here. Ashley went with Lift Me Up, which is the Rihanna song I'm not going with. And AJ decided he wanted to go with the song from Spirited, which would have been the only movie that I've walked out of since I moved to Orlando if I would have ended up going. And I still lost $5 on that movie because I didn't end up going.
And
But
worth noting also, live performances of Natu Natu and Good Afternoon would probably be considered the highlights of the show, which is why they probably want to go with them.
Brian says, be careful of the documentary songwriter Jay Ralph for Dustin Ash for the voice of Dustin Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not even on my radar.
Documentaries used to get in all the time here.
You never know. You never know what might end up in here. I mean, if they love that movie enough, I mean, This Is a Life could slip in here. I'm not wishing that bad juju on anybody, but and I do like the LCD idea. Take a shot, but that's not happening either. So yeah, I'm gonna stop beating around the bush and just stay the same thing. Hold My Hand from Top Gun, Ciao Papa from Pinocchio, Natu Natu from the Walrus movie, RRR, and of course, Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Diane Warren once again. My 5th slot's gonna go to Stand Up from Till. Till gets a deserved 2nd nomination if Life is good, and other people don't get nominated. Life is even better. Let's move on to score.
All right. Hang on a second. I just need to. I know I did this a million times already, but just because of my own paranoia, I just got to double check real quick that I said things that were on the short list.
Oh dear God!
I've double and triple checked this, but I just have to be certain.
I've got the short list in front of me, so
you fell into the Hilda trap.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, yes, all 5 are here. We're good. I have, once again, could be snubs galore. I have Avatar, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Fabelmans, and Pinocchio.
All right.
That's all I can say.
Hang on, which ones again? Avatar, Babylon, Banshees.
The Fabelmans and Pinocchio.
Right. Just copy them over. With my 5, I sort of it's sort of bad saying The Usual Suspects, but it is. We've got Hurwitz's Babylon. We've got Orwell's Banshees, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
William's Fablemans, Desplat's Pinocchio,
Mhm.
and Hilda's Woman Talking. Because if Tar is ineligible, they might go with the other one instead.
It was down to those two for me: Avatar and Women Talking.
Mm-hmm.
Might I throw a third person into the conversation? Best original score: Babylon, Banshees, The Fablemans, Pinocchio. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, I almost did that.
I considered The Woman King. I considered She Said, but I feel like that movie's DOA and it doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I considered Nope at one point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I love that.
I'd have loved if he had gotten in for Us.
Yeah, oh god,
The score for Us is badass.
it is. Let's see. Brian says that means we'll get Farrell back to the Oscars to perform with Reynolds. Oh,
I hate Ryan Reynolds, but he can do musicals. It's weird. I'll blank it.
Brian says if Blanchard got in out of nowhere for the Five Bloods, he could get in for the Woman King. Hey, anything Woman King gets, I'm totally down with.
I'm still madly in love with his Black Klansman score, and I'm so glad that got in. I'm still like on a high from that.
Oh yeah, by the way, conspicuous by its absence in the short list, where's the Batman?
Nobody knows.
Giacchino.
Everybody's pissed. Nobody.
Screwed. Like he shouldn't have been. All right, so again, we're bouncing around. Are we going to costuming and production design, stuff like that?
Yes, we are. Starting with costumes.
Cool.
There we go.
All right. We don't have
Let's
short lists now. We don't have anything to fall back on. We just gotta go. But we have like BAFTA and stuff like that, and guilds.
Didn't look at any of that.
So I said, for costume design, Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis. Always go for a movie that's about the costumes. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Heck yeah! Oh,
And The Woman King.
you make me so happy, AJ, to go with a movie you know how much I love.
So that'd be the one this year, wouldn't it? That's about the costumes.
Oh yeah, sure. We are thinking in the same way. Ashley, what do you got? Best costumes.
I have Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis, Living, and The Woman King. Just because I want to put it somewhere else, so it warrants it being later in my list.
So regardless, the fifth slot's going to be very British.
Yes, that's the key thing is I didn't want to go with Mrs. Harris because I think that's Jenny Bevan who won last year, didn't she?
Oh.
Or was it the year before? But she won recently.
Why does that matter?
I feel like this category. I feel like this category is very open to just let's give it to the same people.
Well, the same people usually get in the nominations, but the problem is it's sort of a list of like 7 or 8 people, so you have to cycle in and out who makes it in one year and who doesn't. But part of me is they don't usually go back to back, at least with wins. And I can't remember what Jenny is working on for this coming award season, but it's probably something good because she's used by all the big studios, so that's what I'm going with.
Parsnip Burger says Jenny never won an Oscar.
getting it wrong for Mad Max then?
Ugh. I'll think about that movie. Hi, Gabriel. Welcome, Mr. Top Hat to chat. Costumes: Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis, Fableman's The Woman King. Brian says, why does Giacchino keep getting screwed in the score category since his win for Up? Yeah, tell me about it. Crap. Best costume design: I have Babylon, Elvis, Glass Onion,
Yeah.
Mrs. Harris, and The Woman King.
So you said Glass Onion in place of what?
I guess I would say, would it be Black Panther?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking in relation to
Panther. I went Woman King instead of Black Panther.
Babylon, Elvis, and what was the other one?
Glass Onion, Mrs. Harris, and The Woman King.
Right, Mrs. Harris.
I love how much of a possibility Glass Onion is here. That makes me happy.
And I know this is a bad example, but it's an example nonetheless. It takes me back to when Inherent Vice did well with costumes, and no one thought that nomination was going to happen. So Glass Onion to me kind of fits in that like style. So that's what I'm going to bank on here. Fablemans could have been an option, Gabriel. I should have went with it, but I mean, and I'd love to give more noms to the Fablemans, but it's got some coming up. Don't worry.
Also to correct, was it Parsnip in chat about Jenny Bevan never winning? Yeah. Oh, Parsnip has already.
I just realized something.
Parsnip Burger basically corrected themselves.
Yeah, because she won last year for Corella. Because I remember that. And I remember her going up with Bad Max because she was basically wearing a bin bag, sort of in protest or something of something.
It just occurred to me. I love that because when you say the costume design for Glass Onion, the first thing I think of is like Daniel Craig's bathing suit and like the green dress or the multicolored dress that Kate Hudson wears. I forgot. Technically, the Speedo with the gun holster counts too.
Darn right it does.
I'm thinking
you don't
about
discount Big Dave.
I'm just thinking about that hat that Craig wears in the bath.
Oh, you mean when they're playing About Us?
Among Us.
That's a great scene too. That's a fun one. So costumes will take us to production design.
Oh yes, it will.
Oh baby, let's go.
I'm like really at the top of the alphabet here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't go very far.
To be fair, when you look at like some of the previous shortlists that we missed, nearly everything is A through G. And then there's like Top Gun, and maybe The Whale. That's it.
So I'll tell you what I considered. I considered Everything Everywhere All at Once for reasons we talked about before.
Sure.
I really would love. I'm praying for Glass Onion to get here. That would be amazing.
Okay.
I considered Pinocchio, which would be inspired.
Not something that's out of the realm.
And I considered Tar for like the apartment. I was thinking about the apartment. I was thinking about the abandoned building scene. I could see Tar, but I landed on. I don't know if I hope I don't regret like not even thinking about Top Gun. I said All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis.
4 out of 5. Ooh. Brian says, speaking of Inherent Vice, be on the lookout for what 2010s films I watch on the next Pop question. Next Sunday. Ashley, what do you got? Production design.
I have Avatar, Babylon, Elvis, Everything Everywhere, and Fablemans. Mainly because I think those are the only 5 that have carried through sort of everything that we've seen so far. Like the production guild, the set dressers guild or whatever, along with the BAFTA long list. And I think Critics' Choice as well, if you want to wrap that in. Those are the only 5 that I think appeared in every single. I think everything everywhere. I think missed one of them. I think the 5th one might have been Batman, which easily could be in. It should be in there instead of Avatar, because how do you production design on a set that's basically like a green screen?
I broke the controller. I was so angry playing the game. Yeah. If you put AJ's together with Ashley's, you come up with mine. And once again, top ski of the alphabet, because we don't go further than F. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fablemans. Didn't really consider anything else. I will say right now, I remember saying in August how big Elvis was going to be. Did not think that it was going to get all these potential nominations and stick through the entire run with all the guilds. Elvis has done so well, even better than I thought that it ever would. I mean, it's not going to win picture or anything like that, but I mean, it's made an impact.
Yeah.
And say what you want about it, so is Babylon.
Well, we were always kind of counting on Babylon doing well tech-wise, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. Parsnip Burger thinks everything. Please don't wish that on me. Top Hat says Avatar, Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis, Fablemans. AJ, you were about to say something. I don't want to cut you off.
I'm just freaking out because of the next category.
We have photography.
We're in the Big Ten. We're going to start with editing.
Cheesy crazy. All right.
Right. Copy them over.
Okay. A lot of things that could be here, a lot of things that should be here. I feel like the only thing that could be considered a snub that I'm doing potentially is Babylon.
I feel
because another thing is, if you're going to be a key player in the race, you got to get here, like fucking Green Book and shit. Remember when that happened?
I just heard Green Book and shit, and I agreed. So,
which makes me worried. Which makes me worried as a Fablemans fan, because I'm snubbing the Fablemans here as well.
Yeah, I don't have room for it.
Which means my editing nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun. The end. By the way, still psyched that I was the only one calling the King Richard nomination here. I don't think it made like any guilds or any precursors whatsoever, and I called that shit. I'm so happy about it.
I'm trying to work out whether there's going to be one different in all our lists. Because my 5 are Avatar, Everything Everywhere, Fablemans, Tar, and Top Gun. With Banshees, it's just like, I don't know whether there's like, whether the editing's too subtle for people to notice. I don't know. So I just went with like the longer films.
The pacing of the movie is spectacular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just went with the longer films because then there's more editing to do. to some extent. Elvis would fit in there as well, I guess, being 2.5.
Yeah, I did definitely consider Tar as well before I settled on these. I'm afraid I'm underestimating Tar in the text.
I don't see it. I had All Quiet on the Western Front at one point, and then I thought about it, and I was like, this is our last shot. At the next time that we do predictions, we're gonna have a real 5. So why not? Why not predict what I want instead of what could possibly get in here? So I'm gonna go for broke. And I feel comfortable enough to do this. My top 5 for editing is going to be 5 movies that I actually like. This is maybe a mistake, and it probably is, but there's reasonings for all of it. I have Babylon, I have Banshees, I have Elvis, I have The Fabelmans, and I have Top Gun Maverick. All Quiet on the Western Front's got a shot. What everyone's trying to sell me on being the front runner of picture right now has got a really good shot. It's probably a huge mistake, and I don't care because this is literally my last chance to try to do something surprising.
We were saying at the beginning, surprising snubs happen. Like, I can't believe that missed in that particular category happens all the time.
Yep.
That said, I would never in a million years not say Everything Ever All at Once. but that's me.
Definitely doesn't belong here, at least in my eyes. But probably going to end up on this list. Yeah, why the heck not, right? Let's go to cinematography.
Okay. Based on a mixture of precursors and just what I feel will happen or could happen, I feel like this category is going to get a little crazy.
Okay.
Unless they go, I mean, they could get really like. Remember the tech categories for 2019 and how fucking boring they were, because it was just the same movies over and over and over again with no thought put into it, no inspired nominations, nothing. With the exception of The Lighthouse getting in here, which should have been a certainty. It was like at least they did that. But sometimes this category can get a little crazy, and I feel like this might be one of those years. There's a lot of things I really should have here. Like we were talking about before, differentiating what cinematography, production design, and visual effects are in a movie like Avatar, I have no idea. Avatar, I believe, won this category in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it here.
Doesn't belong here.
I very much considered Tar, and I very much considered Women Talking. This could be a really big get outside of adapted screenplay for Women Talking. But I combined the crazy with the things that are in the race. I said for cinematography, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Banshees of Inisherin, Bardo, Empire of Light, and Top Gun.
Oh, God. There's a lot of bad in that lineup.
I know Elvis made the Guild. I heard somebody's comparison was Elvis getting in the Cinematography Guild and potentially an Oscar nomination is kind of like Trial of Chicago 7, where it's like that one movie gets in cinematography and you're like, fucking why? Elvis makes a lot more sense than Trial of Chicago 7 did. But still, I guess Empire of Light might get in on Deakins' name. And Bardo, even though I don't have it in international, except we had the whole Never Look Away, was that the name of the movie? That whole thing happened.
I think so, yeah.
But once again, they completely dropped the ball in 2019 outside of The Lighthouse when we had stuff like A Hidden Life that could have gotten in here. I think there was another foreign option. And they just didn't go for it. So yeah, I honestly feel like it could be anything. Maybe this is another place I'm underestimating everything everywhere all at once as far as texts go. But that's the 5 I landed on.
Ashley.
I went with All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Empire of Light, Fablemans, and Top Gun. The one that I mean, for cinematography, Deacon should be in here. For the film, probably not, but he always knows how to shoot them well, and I think that always will get him in no matter what. Amazingly, despite the content.
Let's see. Parsnip Burger says, I think people were put off with Butler's weird accent at the Globes.
I don't know why people are so hung up on that. Ever since he's been doing press, people have just not shut the fuck up about that. Does it matter that much?
Get over it, Marks. Kevin Davis talking about Fableman's winning Spielberg director. Getting ahead of ourselves, Kevin, but thank you.
I really hope I'm underestimating the Fablemans in text.
I'm not. Same. Brian says AJ's reaction of King Richard getting in for editing is in the thumbnail on his reaction video.
Which I'm very happy with.
We'll be doing those Tuesday morning, Brian. 3 separate videos. Gabriel says editing, Avatar, everything, Elvis, Fableman's Top Gun. Kevin Davis says Oscars still give Rihanna Lift Me Up Best Original Song. I hope not. Top Cat says take a shot. Top Hat says Cinnamon Toast Crunchify. Avatar, Babylon, Empire, Fableman's Top Gun. Stop trying to make Empire of Light a movie. I don't care if it's Deacons. That movie sucks. It does not need to be nominated for anything, especially with Crimes of the Future as well. Stop it.
We didn't do it. The guilds did it.
Stop.
Hang
Put
on.
this time out.
Cinematography.
I don't care. Best cinematography. I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick.
The Banshees should get in a Lone Farrell's first shot where you see the whole town and the fucking rainbows behind him.
Yes.
That's like one of my favorite things ever.
Like I said before, I hate Empire of Light. That movie sucks. But if it's going to go anywhere, this is the only thing that I can justify nominating it for.
I'm just double checking.
Looks incredible.
I'm just double checking, Owen. All Quiet, Babylon, Banshees, Fableman's Top Gun, right?
Cinematography?
Yeah.
Quiet, Babylon, Banshees, Elvis, Top Gun.
Oh, Elvis, right. Now that you said it, the Guild's interesting. The Guild went with Empire of Light, Batman, Bardo, Top Gun, and Elvis.
There's not many guilds Elvis has missed. Honestly.
And the key thing is, Elvis is the only, if you want to look into it like that, Elvis is the only female cinematographer.
We started in August. Let's finish. It's 7:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 16th. One last time. Top 8.
All right, reached the checkpoint. We've reached the checkpoint, so it's time one more time to reiterate. Big ass snubs happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass surprises happen all the time. We're pre-BAFTA. We're literally guessing what the Oscar nominations are and half guessing what BAFTA's going to do at the same time.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Are you ready?
As it can be.
Sometimes I made not many changes from what we did last time in December. Some categories I've gotten almost a complete and total overhaul. Some have no changes at all. So we're going to start with adapted screenplay.
Okay.
I think all the way up to now, until now, I had She Said in this category, and I wasn't going to let it go.
So crap that we have to do that.
Somebody that seemed like they were falling behind decided they wanted to get into the PGA lineup. So I had to make one change. So for adapted screenplay, I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, The Whale, and Women Talking. I don't think I ever had The Whale here. If I did, it was probably once. I didn't have any faith in it.
Nope, you totally didn't.
But She Said fell off the face of the fucking earth, and The Whale got a PGA nomination and a decent showing at SAG. So I'm going to say The Whale here. Some people think it's at the front of this category. I still think this is a two-person race here, but yeah. So that's the only change I made was taking out She Said for The Whale, which was a pretty easy decision, especially after PGA. So there's love for The Whale in the guilds.
Ashley, best adapted screenplay.
Glass Onion, Living, She Said, The Whale, Women Talking. I'm not changing because I feel both screenplay categories are going to have one that's literally out of nowhere. Because that's happened the past few years. With your Borats and your Straight Outta Comptons and everything like that.
So you have She Said as the one coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's so weird to say, but it's true.
Not that it might be wrong to rule out All Quiet, but I'm just feeling that adapted is less competitive than I think original probably is to some extent.
Adapted's a fucking dead zone.
Yeah. So there's there's a gap there that can be filled, and I'm gonna keep confidence in She Said to get its one solitary nomination because it's a good script. I've read it. These people keep providing these scripts as PDFs. It's brilliant. I now actually get to read the 107 pages of Living, and it's still good.
Okay. Let's see. Top Hat says take out Fableman's going with Batman. Okay. Smurfy Boy, do you think Berger can get in a director since the international director seems to be nominated? We'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. You're getting it, Smurfy Boy. You know how the top 8 works. All Quiet, Glass Onion, Living, Whale, Women Talking says Top Hat. Brian says be on the watch for Pinocchio.
I would love that. Yes.
Why are sequels automatically considered adapted, even if it's a wholly original story? But Top Hat, you say it has pre-existing characters. So do biopics. Because there's subject matter that's already been in place that already is connected to something.
Yeah, biopics could only be considered adapted if it's like Blonde is adapted off that book, which is factually incorrect.
And it's the difference between sequels and biopics is it's when you're using another character, that's somebody else's creation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Or the same person's creation, but still a creation nonetheless.
My adapted screenplay lineup, I hated bumping She Said out here because it's one of my favorite movies of the year. And I love Carrie. And The Whale just kind of came out of nowhere. Women Talking I took it completely out because I had it like not getting anything because we don't know what it's going to do. No idea what it's going to do. Completely blank. Could get Wishaw in. Surprising supporting actress nomination that we should have known was coming. Could get nothing at all and still get in a picture. I guess we'll see. But I've stuck with something all season. And AJ can't say it, but I can. Best adapted screenplay, All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Top Gun, Maverick, The Whale, and Women Topping. Talking. Enunciation is key. It sounds like I said topping, but it was talking.
Are we moving on?
We're moving on to a category that I have not touched and continue not to touch since probably the beginning of this whole thing back in August. Best original screenplay, AJ.
Okay, so there's 3 that are like, yeah. Then people keep getting in my ear and making me worry about The Fabelmans, but I'm hoping The Fabelmans is fine.
It's fine.
The question is that 5th one. There is a revolving door in this category. Owen and Ashley already know what I'm going to say.
Yep.
It's great. It was 24 hours ago and I don't remember, so...
I couldn't contain we had the conversation after we turned the camera off and we were stopped recording, and I couldn't contain myself because I was so psyched that I felt like I cracked the code. Because there's a lot of things we've talked about. Triangle of Sadness come up a lot. Babylon we were trying to do for a while there. Comes up a lot. After Sun's almost the one I went with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking about last year, where we had a wide open spot here, just like this. And the big question was, is it going to be Sorkin or is it going to be Frank Kranz for Mass? Which one is it going to be? Being the Ricardos or Mass? And then an international choice with the worst person in the world came out of fucking nowhere and took that spot. So I thought, why don't I run with this international thing and see what happens? I was so close to saying RRR, but I didn't. What I said was, what I'm saying is The Banshees of Inisherin, Decision to Leave, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, and Tar.
Okay.
That's what I've got.
Ashley.
The usual suspects are here. And then the wacky one. I have Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, The Menu, and Tar.
No.
Nice.
Yes.
That'd be great.
If only for the story of that restaurant that actually exists in like Denmark or whatever, that is basically very much similar to The Menu, is announced that it's shutting down in 12 months' time. Because it's... People are blaming the film, but it could just be like the economic crisis that's going on now. But people are trying to shoehorn into the film.
I can say that that's an inspired choice, and I would love to see that. And I tell by the reaction of AJ that all 3 of us would love to see that happen.
I'm really, really pulling for it to surprise in this category. That would be amazing.
I just feel that there's something satirical has to get in original.
Yeah.
There's nothing else is.
Well, the one I wanted to say was Elvis. And then I thought about stuff like After Sun. Go really inspired and go with Jordan Peele.
Nice.
Go extremely inspired and go with Ty West.
One.
Either one worked.
Oh, I have an update on that. They're finally releasing fucking Pearl over here in March. So that might be in my list for 12 months' time because that's how the BAFTAs work. Yes! I can put it in 2 straight years.
But it's weird because it feels like this 5 has followed me pretty much since the beginning. So again, might as well keep what brought you to the dance in the first place. I've got Todd Fields. I've got Steven Spielberg. I got the Daniels, whatever. Martin McDonagh. And Damien Chazelle. That's what I've had forever and a day. You know what? Might as well just keep it one last time.
Okay.
So Ashley, you got that right.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the 4 and then that 5th one. That's the only difference. It's either Decision to Leave, The Menu, or Babylon, or none of them.
The answer is none of them. And it's something we're not even thinking about. And
Hang on, I'm
I
trying to
hate
look.
this movie. AJ can't even watch this movie. But Triangle of Sadness is still floating around too.
Mm-hmm. The one that I wanted to put in, but I think it's only got a chance at BAFTA, is Goodnight to You, Leo Grande.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just because it was written so, like, actual realistically, rather than, you know, Richard Curtis style tropism. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because he's normally good at those sort of things, but it, you know, it felt sort of natural and sort of like not really zoomed out. That was the what it was probably between that and The Menu, which didn't say I was trying to go for a British script. But
Top Hat says his original lineup is the 4 plus Triangle of Sadness. Brian thought you were going to say The Menu. AJ?
I'd love to say The Menu.
hello, that's my cross to bear. Thank you.
I'm okay. There's things I'd love to be wrong about, believe me. Top Hat says, give this boy a menu, he's hungry. Smurfy Boy says, never get over Green Book winning original screenplay over the favorite. I'm indifferent with both of them because I love both movies. So I can see the reasoning for both.
It's fucked up, man.
The anger for both as well. Brian says, for some reason, although it's not going to happen, Banshee's moving to adapted. It would be back in, like we thought back in August. Banshees would have won. Yeah, easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Banshees 100% would have won. Just like there's this grassroots thing that I keep seeing coming across my Twitter feed about Michelle Williams switching category at the last minute.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, if that happened, she'd be a lot more of a challenger for the win for supporting actress.
Yeah, because I feel like it's open now. Because I'm not buying this Bassett sweeping thing. Honestly,
No.
Until I see it, I'm not really convinced.
I ain't watching that movie until it's forced on me as in one of the 10.
I'm especially unconvinced now that we know that Critics' Choice voting was happening during the Globes.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
though.
we're just gonna go ahead and copy it. Like literally, that's what they're saying. We're copying.
There's the problem though, because of us doing it now when we are, maybe we could influence Oscar voters. Because the Oscar nomination voting closes tomorrow.
You guys are fucking watching this, The Menu and original screenplay, please. And while you're at it, fine.
Nominate the Batman for anything you can.
There was a part of me that was secretly really hoping Fiennes would have gotten the 5th slot in actor at SAG. That would have been amazing.
MarkRylance.com.
Yeah, we're done with Mark Rylance, sadly.
No, we're not. We got personal tomorrow, sir. We ain't done with Mark Rylance.
True, that's true.
The fact that even BAFTA forgot that he existed.
That's bullshit.
Tell me about it.
That man taught most of you.
Drove around in a van. He's one of the scariest performances of the year, and he doesn't have to do anything to do it. He's that great.
Did people hate the Phantom of the Open that much? I liked it.
Don't even know what that is.
That's the film based on the true story about this amateur guy that managed to get into the British Open golf and then go finish of a round of like 30 over, and then somehow managed to get in the next year because he wore a disguise and pretended to be a Frenchman. I wish this was fake. That actually happened.
This sounds fun. Oh yeah, this thing was at AMC for like a week and a half, and no one watched it. That's why they got rid of it. Speaking of categories, right now I kind of want to get rid of because I don't know anymore. Best Supporting Actress.
AKA, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Yep. F it, we'll do it live.
All right. I got real, especially with the combination of the menu. SAG was really about to convince me the Hong Chow thing. So, like I said, we've been saying all season, supporting actress is just who the hell knows. Even with the women talking women seemingly not really here or present much. Not on the BAFTA shortlist, not at SAG, nothing apart from ensemble. You could throw that in there, I guess. Category's still really random and weird, especially with Bassett winning 2 televised awards in a row is not helping how weird this whole category is.
2 televised awards in a row that mean absolutely nothing to Oscar voters other than the fact that it's more visibility.
Yeah, and gave her the chance
to
give speeches to influence them as well, which could always be the case for anybody.
Good button.
So, because nobody knows, for supporting actress, I'm finally glad the stress of this category is done. Once we say this, it's out of our hands forever.
Yes.
Finally. We are finally free of this category this year.
Free at last.
Here we go. I've got Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Ever All at Once, Stephanie Hsu for Everything Ever All at Once, and for the love of God, just fucking do it, Janelle Monáe for Glass Onion.
Yes! Heck yeah! Let's freaking go. Ashley?
Hang on, I've got to put Stephanie's name in. That probably tells you that it never showed up on my list. Because I don't have faith in the Oscars acknowledging new talent. My 5... unchanged, if you've kept track. Bassett for Black Panther, Buckley for Women Talking, Condon for Banshees, Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere, and Monet for Glass Onion. I am honestly wondering whether Women Talking fuck themselves over by not having like somebody as the designated lead. And
I mean, they campaigned Mara lead, didn't they? But it's an ensemble. I don't even think Mara's leading. Like nobody's.
Mara's the one name I never saw anywhere.
Yeah, that's the irony.
And Mara's like the least standout of the cast.
Yeah.
McDormand is literally set decoration.
Sounds about right. Give her time to rest. She's had a long several seasons. I mean, she did a documentary that won Best Picture, and then she did Macbeth. So yeah, give her some time to rest.
Hang on, I'm trying to look up and see what she's doing in 2023 because she's probably doing something.
Her and obviously Catherine Hunter should have swept the season, but we won't open up that wound.
Speaking of should have swept the season, I'm looking at you, Carrie Condon. Top Hat says Jenny the Donkey for Best Supporting Actress. Let's go, baby. Hey, Adam Cole just returned Top Hat, so that's topical. Bassett, Chow, Condon, Curtis, Sue. Smurfy Boy says Bassett, Condon, Sue, Monet, and Nina Haas.
Okay.
We'll see how much they love Tar. But, you know, I feel I started a trend a while back, which led to me getting on other people's trends. Led me to taking people out of this lineup that I didn't want to take out. Carrie Mulligan should be in this lineup. 100%. She deserves to be here. Should be here. Don't know why she's not here. Oh, yeah, I do. I know. Because they're trying to make this Black Panther thing happen. Yep. That's what love's got to do with it, Angela Bassett. Thanks for taking the slot from Carrie Mulligan. You should be ashamed of yourself. You need an education to get this taken care of. Drive yourself out of this category, please. I am seriously done. That being said, Best Supporting Actress, Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And yes, I am one of the three, but I feel like I was the first one to say this. And I think it can be proven because there's video proof. Janelle Monáe, Glass Onion.
But they fucking.
Who cares, Brian? I don't have to see the movie to say anything. I like Carrie Mulligan, and I love the She Said performance, and I don't like the fact that it's not getting any love whatsoever.
We'll talk about this. There's actually 2 supporting performances, and She Said I'd put in even over Mulligan, but that's for tomorrow's conversation. Also, you said Angela Bassett should be ashamed. There's only one thing I have held against Angela Bassett since the beginning of time, and I will continue to hold it against her. The scene and how Stella got her groove back when she breaks up with Taye Diggs because he rented The Lion King. It's like, go fuck yourself. You don't deserve your groove, Stella.
To be fair, this is just playing into the joke and using Carrie Mulligan movies to shoot down Angela Bassett. I don't have a problem with Angela Bassett. I've not seen Wakanda Forever. I'm not going to unless I'm forced to see it because it runs for picture. Because I didn't like the first Black Panther, and we've had this conversation. I'm not going in and opening that can of worms again. So, but yeah, I don't like it, the fact, basically, because it kind of messed up everybody's predictions. Sometimes that's fun. Sometimes it's not. Because you get set on a 5, and then it's like, oh, this is perfect. And it's like, why is this person winning? This person's not even in my lineup. What's going on? And then try to make something happen like that. So yeah, no problems with Angela Bassett as a person. I enjoy her work greatly, but I would be very sad if she gets in over something like a Carrie Mulligan performance that I really enjoyed and She Said. I think that's fair to say. I had to equate myself. People don't think that I won't be a hater. I do like Jamie, but I'm not a hater. So, oh boy.
This category,
things are up in the air. Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, this category is not really playing nice either.
Well, it's who's going to job short round at this point. So, who's the 4 people jobbing short round, AJ?
Okay, so once again, here's the thing. An open slot or 2, or a switch out or 2, or just one. If there's usually, we're not quite sure what's happening here. There's somebody that's usually over here that's just kind of been circling things but hasn't gotten anything huge yet that's just going to suddenly decide to drop in at the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the decision that I made.
Same here, but I don't think we went to the same person.
Okay, here we go. Why am I so nervous about this?
Because I don't have in here that everybody else is predicting.
It's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Okay, we have Brendan Gleeson for the Banshees of Inisherin. I think having circled this category and his name's been thrown around an awful lot and he's been present here, but he hasn't really dropped in to show himself yet.
Should I go up there?
Coming down and finally securing this and ending this once and for all is Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway.
Interesting.
I think we are going to see another Belfast scenario. Do you remember when Katrina Balfe was getting a lot of I've said this all fucking season. When Katrina Balfe was getting all her nominations, and then the Academy decided, you know what, we're going to go with the veteran instead. We're going to trade you out for Judi Dench. I don't have Paul Dano for the Fabelmans. I have Judd Hirsch for the Fabelmans. Doing the Balfe Dench thing. And then Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin and Ki-Hee Kwan.
Okay.
Huh.
Ashley, do your best supporting actor.
I have Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Barry Keoghan for Banshees, Ki-Hee Kwan for Everything Everywhere, Brad Pitt for Babylon, and Ben Whishaw for Women Talking.
Ooh. Both of them.
Yeah. The issue I think I have with Fabelmans is the way that I'm going, not that I'm sort of trying to reveal what I think's going to win, but Fabelmans seems very spotlight in that it's the ensemble that should be praised and not anybody in particular.
No.
Though Ruffalo got in for Spotlight.
Oh,
Yes.
did he? Yeah. Still, I haven't seen it. It don't come out till 2 weeks' time, so. Thanks, Universal. You want to put on shit? Like.
No.
I mean, they
And
did the menu, so maybe I can't call them shit.
I know Owen's not going to say him, so I want to draw attention to something while Ashley has said Ben Whishaw. Something I brought up last night, but I said I wanted to say it again now, because I already see the shit happening. If Ben Whishaw should happen, which is completely possible, people are going to write up think pieces and fucking tweets saying, oh my god, how disgusting. The only person nominated for Women Talking was a guy.
Why else do you think I put Buckley in?
Yeah. Supporting actor is much easier to get into this year than supporting actress has been a bloodbath from the beginning. That is why that would happen. It has nothing to do with anything else. Pay the fuck attention, for God's sake.
And of course, it doesn't really help when you have somebody with the sort of story that they have in Ki-Hee Kwan and sort of basically not wanting to do any films because he just got offered the stereotype sort of roles that James Hong, I guess, took instead. Because they would have had Ki-Hee Kwan in Balls of Fury if they had the chance, rather than James Hong.
And since we're doing predictions, let's go ahead and predict things outside of the nominations as well. If Brad Pitt gets nominated, he's going to have a really bad morning and a really bad season because people are going to go all in on controversy, we'll say. So, that's all I'm saying.
So, supporting actor is interesting because there's a narrative that everybody's trying to tell me as an Oscar predictor on the internet what to go with. All the websites, the other various social media outputs. This is what the five are. There is nobody else. Blah 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 blah. Shut up.
There's one.
Anybody that speaks in absolutes during award season is a fucking moron.
Yeah, no one knows anything.
To me,
All
there's
we know
only
is
sorry to interrupt, but to me, there's only one. There's only one absolute in there.
Yeah, Kwan's winning. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
But and I don't want that because I hate the movie. But I've accepted that. I know that's a thing. That's a necessary evil that I have to deal with. That being said, Ben Whishaw and Barry Keoghan and God, there's so many people that could be in this lineup. But you know what? I did the double as well. But I went a different route. And again, I was the first one with the guts to say Brad Pitt. And I will be the last. Best Supporting Actor, Paul Dano for The Fabelmans, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, Brad Pitt for Babylon, and Ki-Hai Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Rogan would be nice. Good fella Tim mentioned. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Not
I think about
crowded.
I think about Rogan's last scene in The Fabelmans like every day.
Redmayne's a possibility.
Oh shit! Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
Not a necessarily a big possibility, but it's still there.
He could also be. Redmayne could be like a Daniel Bruhl situation.
Yeah, I could see that. We were now granted it's a very, 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 very minute possibility. But if it overperforms and it does as well as it could, there's an outside chance of Tom Hanks here.
He did make the BAFTA list.
He did.
And then I realized that most of the people that watched it in America last week were basically maybe Tom Hanks fans in the political sense, with a certain Apprentice person, which made me lose faith in Tom Hanks, which is the first time I've said that ever.
I will never lose faith in Tom Hanks, and I have no idea what you're talking about, so I have plausible deniability.
What would concern me about Hanks is that I feel like the biggest mistake Elvis made was telling the story from the Colonel's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I just immediately felt alienated from the movie immediately.
Right. Top Hat says Gleason, Hirsch, Keoghan. I guess that's what we're going to go with. Kwan, Redmayne. Smurfy Boy says Kwan, Gleason, Keoghan, Dano, Wishaw. Top Hat says give it up for Gleason. Oh, his comedy's back. His performance was really out of hand. That's about as good as my Carey Mulligan puns from earlier, Top Hat. Good job.
I'm going to need a finger of whiskey after that.
Good God. How can a television show be worth this much embarrassment? Speaking of a category that has kind of stayed the same pretty much all season, but again, as always, days one that just kind of is questionable. Best Actress.
What's annoying me here is that I know I'm making a mistake, but I can't bring myself to correct it.
I'm gonna go with what
I know exactly what I should do. And I can't. I physically can't. I go to try to change it, I can't. What I probably should just be predicting is the SAG lineup. But for some reason, I cannot bring myself to say Viola Davis. When the Academy and every other fucking branch loves and worships Viola Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I can't pull away because I already before my prediction last time was Ana de Armas gets in with no other precursor except for Globe, and then she got in a fucking SAG. So I'm not gonna get off the Ana de Armas thing, even though I feel like she's the most likely to miss out. Even over people might say Williams is the most obvious to miss out. I think de Armas is. I would say Williams before I would say De Armas if I had to choose between the two, but that's my problem is I can't choose between the two, which means shunning Viola Davis, which feels like a huge mistake. It feels like a massive mistake, but trying as hard as I can, I just can't do it. So my lineup did not change from the last time. I still have Kate Blanchett for Tar, Danielle Deadwyler for Till, Anna de Armas for Blonde, Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know it's a mistake, but I can't do it. I can't change it.
Ashley, Best Actress.
Hang on. Ah, fuck. Wrong one. Copy that in. I have Kate Blanchett for Tar, Viola Davis for Woman King, Daniel Deadwyler for Till, Margot Robbie for Babylon, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere. I can't have a three-sided coin, but it literally was between Margot de Armas and Williams in terms of who gets the fifth slot. And de Armas was like 90% in, and then I thought they wouldn't match SAG. And then I just thought it's the Academy. They usually pick even what SAG doesn't like, and we've already made the jokes in previous years about the Meryl Streep and the Jennifer Lawrence. We'll probably see her in next year for Barbie or anything else that's coming out, but that's why I put Margot in, because the Academy just likes her.
She only has the nominations for I, Tonya and Bombshell, doesn't she?
Yeah, but the fact that she's made so many, I mean, she made Mary Queen of Scots because she wanted an Oscar nomination. Let's be honest.
I'm still kind of surprised that one didn't happen, actually.
Yeah.
Her last scene in it was powerful.
She seems to only make films where she thinks... That's why, like, Barbie is such a left field move, because it doesn't feel like it's probably going to be an awards contender. Then again, it's probably a mainstream thing, which he probably needs right now. What with... Who knows what the hell's happening with Suicide Squad, even though James Gunn's in charge of DC. So yeah, that's what I've committed to an asylum.
Top Hat says there's something about Banshees I like, just can't put my finger on it. Top Hat says Blanchett, Davis, Deadwyler, Williams, and Yeoh. Sounds familiar. Ryan says, not to mention, Farrell said he cried while watching Blonde for some reason. Smurfy Boy says, same thing. A strong Best Actress lineup. Yep, very true. In another year, Olivia Colman might be more in those. If she did a better movie.
Yeah.
If she had that performance in a better movie that fit more with the actual performance, she might be a little bit more in the contention. But the movie she did, no, God, no.
Yeah, that was just bad material.
Yeah, he sucked. Actress. I'm not believing this De Armas thing. I know you love Glass Onion, and I do too, but no.
Glass Onion have to do with this?
De Armas is in Glass Onion.
Nice Out.
No, well, still in a Rian Johnson movie. Don't care. Anyway, Best Actress has pretty much been the same for me since day one. Might as well keep it. Blanchett for Tar, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Danielle Deadwyler for Till, Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh.
You know those things that you kick yourself for because they were so obvious and you just didn't go with them for some reason?
The Academy and Danielle Deadweller.
I'm gonna be fucking kicking myself over this Viola Davis thing because I literally already know I'm wrong, and she's here. It's just at the expense of who?
De Armas. That's the only real option. Or they snub Michelle Williams, but God, I don't want to think that's even going to happen.
Unless Williams Stanfields.
I would love if she moved to supporting because
We have
oh yeah, she can win supporting easy.
we got Keith Stanfield set a big fucking precedent for category fraud or fixing category fraud.
Because I thought about it doing it that way, but I stopped myself and I was like, yeah, do I really want to try to predict something that obscure? And though there is a precedent for it, my response is no.
Yeah, because then if you're gonna move Williams, that brings you back to that fucking supporting actress category that's already been enough of a headache.
Nah, it's easy. I just bump Hong Chow. Problem solved.
Unless you've already done that.
Yeah. And then I move. Oh God, then I'd have a problem with actors. Yeah, there's no winning. Best actor.
Interestingly enough, all of the chaos we've talked about, these last three categories are like my least complicated.
Yeah.
I feel like I can rest right now.
Yep.
I want to think something crazy is going to happen in actor.
Mm-hmm.
Sandler getting in at SAG is wild. But I thought it over. I looked over the BAFTA list again. I considered everything, and I'm just going to keep it the way I had it. Even though this movie that's in the 5th spot is not getting any other nominations from me. Which you would think would mean I'd give it more power in original screenplay, but I didn't because I'm feeling that decision elite thing. So I stuck with Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye for Living.
Ashley.
Ditto.
That
Same.
lineup seems.
Same 5.
That 5 seems too easy.
It's too clean, yeah.
Wait.
I mean,
Needs.
I don't want to say that Mescal seems plain, considering there's no, not even I have put, we're going to be seeing it tomorrow in my list, but multiple times. But the fact that it only gets one nod here, again, I just want that film to be Oscar nominated. It's like the inverse of Amsterdam, or whatever. That's probably why no, because I put Blonde in earlier, so that ruins that idea that Blonde doesn't get anything. Damn it.
Well, let's see. Mescal and his supporting performance according to AJ.
Yes, definitely.
Let's see. Brian says many people have Barbie as their most anticipated film of the year. Some will say it's going to be a masterpiece. Yeah, right. Barbie for Costumes 2024 says Gabriel, Butler, Farrell, Fraser, Mescal, Nye. Smurfy Boy says Butler, Fraser, Farrell, Nye, Mescal. I've had confidence in someone all season. And when DGA came out, I got a thought in my head. And getting ahead of ourselves with one category next, I almost did something that, again, AJ cannot do. Well, Butler, Cruz, Farrell, Fraser, that's written in the stars for me, and it always has been. Bill Nye was the one that I wasn't sold on. He became my next option. So everybody was saying that it's Butler, Farrell, Fraser, and then Bill Nye is very much in this. Well, my 5th slot was somebody that I didn't think was 5, that now I know is 5. And I've had confidence in him the entire way. And I feel that Mescal's just a little too clean, just a little too obvious at this point. Sandler, very inspired. Wouldn't mind seeing that. Luckily, I talked so fast you didn't understand what I said, so that's good. So yeah, I feel like this category needs an edge, a little craziness, and that's exactly what I wanted to go with. Best actor, Tom Cruise, is my 5.
Not only would that make sense just because he's really good in it, but the fact that people are basically giving him almost sole credit for the movie itself.
Oh yeah,
which for good reason, but it's like he's overshadowed Kaczynski as far as creators of the movie.
So Nye's your number 5 then?
well, technically Cruise is, but yeah, because I've had Cruise the whole day.
Well,
so
because you already mentioned Butler, Cruise, Farrell, and Fraser had been in there consistently, so I took those as the 4. I was trying to work out what the other one was.
Yeah, Bill Nye was my last one.
Mm-hmm.
Like AJ said, the rest of it seems kind of cake. Take this home. Best director.
I'm doing backflips about the DGA lineup. I love the DGA lineup. I really do. But there is always at least one change.
Yep.
And yeah, I feel like I've had this director lineup since November, I think.
You have.
And yeah, I'm sticking with it. I would love if Kaczynski got in. I hope Spielberg's not in any danger of getting snubbed. I really, really hope. So, my director lineup for the last few months and still now is Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front, The Day After Everything Everywhere All at Once, Todd Field for Tar, McDonough for Banshees, and Spielberg for The Fabelmans.
Ashley, best director.
I'll have to get Edward's name off one of the other things in a minute. I have Todd Field for Tar, Daniels for Everything Everywhere, McDonough for Banshees, Spielberg for Fabelmans, Bait and Switch, Charlotte Wells for After Sun. I think a female's getting in. I don't think Women Talking has got the momentum.
Definitely not.
But I think, there's a chance that... I'm only putting this in because I don't want it to be all 5 men, because then God knows how much that, will happen. Even though he shouldn't be like a female should get in, but to me, I felt it was sort of stronger than a lot of the stuff that I have seen this year in terms of direction. Probably revealing my hand when we actually get to the BAFTA winners, because I think that's going to do especially well. That might even be like the biggest winner of the night because of all the other things that it's in. So you might actually like that ceremony, Owen, because it might get more than the Everything Everywhere.
Not if I don't have access to the movie that's winning.
That's also pretty ballsy, because you didn't say it for original screenplay, did you?
Nope.
I just wanted... I wanted a female entry in, but I just didn't feel confident on Women Talking making it in. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably now show up in probably original in place of the menu. Or if it's adapted, it'll probably go in place of She Said. No, it would be original, wouldn't it? So, yeah, it probably would go in place of the menu. So there's my mistake. Menu shouldn't be here. Should be After Sun. There we go.
We're trying to will the menu into existence, so...
Yeah, menu should definitely be here.
I'm just thinking because of the Yorgos Lanthimos. they like to go with witty stuff, not sort of drama stuff.
Yeah.
Smurfy Boy says Austin Butler's 31. People forget the Academy doesn't like to give Oscars to young men. Doesn't mean he still can't get nominated. Top Hat says Cameron, Daniels, Fields, McDonough, Spielberg. God, don't wish that lineup on me.
When would, where's the cutoff? Where's the cutoff between older and younger? Because Austin Butler's 1 year under me, and I feel old as fuck. So.
Same. All right. Let me go through my thought process here. All you just do when there are no women nominated for Best Director, Academy don't bring in Portman to the ceremony so she doesn't wear a dress like she did 3 years ago. Okay. The obvious ones. Spielberg, McDonough. The two I don't care about, Field and the Daniels. The only Daniels I care about is Christopher Daniels. This is an interesting one. I always thought this was going to be a blockbuster. I had Lerman in here. Thought Lerman would get DGA. Didn't happen. I went heavy on Top Gun because AJ can't. So I had Kaczynski in here. Couldn't do it. And then there's one option. And you know what? It's the one that was staring me in the face the whole time. No matter how much I denied its existence, no matter how much I thought that it was just going to blow over, and it's just all something random on AJ's list that wouldn't go nowhere. I look how many nominations this thing got when I actually put it 2 and 2 together, and it is the only movie that has double digits when it comes to my predictions. And yes, AJ, we are 100% together when it comes to that. We both agree Edward Berger is the last spot for All Quiet on the Western Front. Let's take this home. Everyone.
All right. Shockingly, I only made one change.
Same.
I was gonna make a second one because I'm worried about one.
Same.
One of the things I'm worried about, not just because I love this movie and I'm afraid it's gonna miss, and it missing SAG Ensemble when it should have easily gotten in, is really scaring me. Another thing I never really thought about was there are 3 sequels here. Is that abnormal?
No.
All right, because I believe I did count that right. 3 sequels. Just make sure there's not 4.
Yeah, Avatar, Glass Onion, and Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that means 4 sequels made PGA, which is crazy.
Yeah, with Black Panther as well.
I can't see that happening.
All right, but Glass Onion did make PGA, and it's at the front of it's at the top of the adapted screenplay race. I feel like that could be enough of a showing for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, The Whale has made a big comeback with Guild, with getting the PGA nomination, and 2 people at SAG, when I think only 1 was really expected at this point.
Right.
So, with The Whale rising and Women Talking really still struggling, that was the change that I made. Everything else is the same. So, I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar. I kept Babylon based on, like what I was saying at the very beginning, just enough tech nominations to get it probably the last spot. Banshees, Everything Ever All at Once, The Fablemans, Glass Onion, Tar, Top Gun, and The Whale.
Ashley, what's your best picture lineup?
I have Avatar, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Fablemans, Glass Onion, Tar, Top Gun, Whale, Woman King, and Women Talking.
All about the Woman King getting in the picture, even though I'm not predicting it.
I mean, it could be considered like a box office success because of how strong it did, mainly because nothing else came out at the same time. So it could be one that people, if they wanted to champion something that wasn't a mega blockbuster like Avatar or Top Gun or Black Panther, there's your way in. I would say Glass Onion was a blockbuster, but Netflix purposely stunted that by saying, no, you only get 1 week. We don't care if the cinemas are empty.
I read chat disconnect on me before. It's weird. Top Hat says All Quiet, Avatar, Banshees, Elvis, Everything, Fableman's, Tar, Top Gun, The Whale, Women Talking. Brian says rest in peace to Pinocchio for picture. He's been saying that for a while now. And we end the way that we began. Best picture. And All Quiet on the Western Front. Avatar. Babylon. The Banshees of Inisherin. Elvis. Everything. The Fablemans. Glass Onion. Tar. And Top Gun Maverick. I don't have faith in Women Talking. I have faith in The Whale, but not enough to bump it out, any of my 10 out. I think people are underestimating Babylon here, and especially Elvis, because I'm not seeing Elvis get many like Best Picture spots, but it belongs here. I'm Glass Onion to get in here. I'd love the Woman King to get in here. I'm totally down with that, 100%. But yeah, based upon what I have for everything, yeah, that 10 makes the most sense to me. And I think Smurfy Boy says All Quiet, Avatar, Banshees, Babylon, Elvis, Everything, Fableman's, Tar, Top Gun, Whale. If Avatar didn't like muscle its way in here, I would love to have put the Woman King in, but it did, so I can't. But that would have been the only other change I would have made if I could have. Yeah, that's our show. Those of you that have been following since August, thank you. Those of you that came in along the way, thank you. For those of you that left along the way, thank you for at least giving us a try. We appreciate that. We may not be everyone's cup of tea, but we do have a very unique opinion when it comes to things. Very similar to a lot and very different to others. So if you're playing along on the home game, Smurfy Boy says, back to Best Actress, how do you feel about Andrea Riseborough word of mouth campaign?
That exists.
Yeah, I saw this thing on Twitter putting over her performance as like one of the greatest performances ever and trying to get like a grassroots campaign and like get her on the Best Actress lineup. These things never work, Smurfy Boy.
I don't want to sound like I'm being condescending. What movie is that even for?
Don't recall off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about. Smurfy Boy came across my Twitter feed yesterday. That's your show. Like I said, if you're playing the home game, you would know that we got one more Popcast this week. Tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. due to some previous theatrical engagements. And because of that, that means that we're starting a little bit later, but it's the one that you've been waiting for. If you've been following along, we're predicting 10 for the top 8.
Not predicting.
We are putting our top 10 for every one of the big 8 categories if we did our personal lineups for 2022.
Any movie or any or performance from the year.
Yep. If it was shown in a theater in 2022, even for a day, it is fair game. And every movie that I went for has a theatrical release with one notable exception. And I'm sure if I do some research, I can find out where there was a screening somewhere where Roku was like, here, watch this. I'll get on that. Otherwise, I'm a hypocrite and a liar, and I am neither of the above. They're doing our top 8, 10 for each category tomorrow night. Sunday, we are back here with Pop the Question. Monday, we have got Popcast Movie Club, DocuSucker, or Fistful of Dynamite. And Tuesday morning, the 3 of us in separate videos react to the Oscar nominations being read live. It'll be live for us, but I mean, obviously it won't be live for you guys, but I mean, Ashley's might, because he's the one that has access to all our stuff, so it's very possible. And then 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, come and join us for our discussion, our infamous discussion, where we talked about the hits, the misses, the surprises, the snubs, all this on Tuesday. Then we get a nice little break ski for a while, because we get to predict the BAFTA nominations, because those nominations are going live on Thursday this week.
Technically, you've also got they always announce it 24 hours before, but the Rising Star will be on Wednesday as well. I'm trying to work out who is going to be.
So as soon as the cluster that is the WGA drops, we can talk about the guilds, predict the guilds with the SAG together in the same podcast prediction video that we always do, predict the BAFTAs, recap each individual show, and of course, Spirits, same thing. And we predict, and finally end this shindig with one last recap show of what happened during the 2023 Academy Awards ceremony.
I'm guessing tomorrow I should do the tradition of me predicting the Rising Star nominees, like I've done for the past 2 years.
I did not know you did that, but sure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. Again, I'll promote this every show, because you might want to get your questions ready. May 1st is not that far away, everyone. Hopefully it'll just fly right by. And that's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Popcast Network. If it's ever been covered on this network, it's fair game to ask questions about and talk about. Have a nice little discussion. We're going to tell some stories, maybe some special guests, who knows. Should be a fun time. Special pop the question for that show, which also includes the first time that we're letting chat pick the movie that we will then select to do for Popcast Movie Club. Ashley can be found on Twitter at @Ashly'sMyNameUK. His content is forthcoming. AJ, once again, cannot be found on any form of social media, and just like Keith Richards, cannot be killed by any form of weapons whatsoever. Also has no control if Cody Rhodes ends up winning the Royal Rumble or not. Needless to say, plenty of AJ content coming. Finishing the English. Going through the nightmare fuel that is the Santa Clauses. All the movie reviews. All the verses. The actual video, which is going to be talking about his top 10 for the year. Which could be one of the most in-depth reviews of Banshees of Inisherin that exists.
I don't know that I need to do a top 10 videos after tomorrow, especially since, like I said, going through all the categories, you're basically getting your Banshees review.
Fair. But yeah, it's the middle of January, and I'm trying my best that we should be completely caught up to the point that we are on February dates without anything missing by next month. That's my goal. And if we don't, I'm just going to start throwing up voices videos and don't care anymore. So that's going to be lots of content, voices, sipping snacks, so much stuff still to come. So yeah, that's your show. Thanks everyone for watching tonight, whether live or in archive. As always, go stream F about it. Get it higher on the list. Get water parks the accolades they truly deserve. Intellectual property comes out in a few months. God knows that kid's going to be amazing. And that's your show for tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until next time, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.